Hello, I'm Adam Smith. I'm the Programme Director for Dementia Researcher, and I'm in Helsinki at the 2023 Alzheimer Europe Conference. Whilst at the conference, I'm working alongside Alzheimer Europe to bring you insights from the people living with dementia and carers who are involved in their work and in making this conference possible. In these 4 shows, we'll talk about the inspiring event, about their involvement, and the work of the Alzheimer's Europe's European Working Group of People with Dementia and the new European Dementia Carers Working Group. And today I'm joined by Kevin Quaid and Lieselotte Klotz. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Adam, nice to meet you.
Good to be here.
Thank you. I've got your bios here, so I'm going to introduce you both. Kevin Quaid is from Limerick. He was diagnosed with dementia, with Lewy Body Dementia in 2017, aged 53, after being diagnosed firstly with Parkinson's. He's a member of the Irish Dementia Working Group, as well as Vice Chair of the European Working Group of People with Dementia, and co-founder of Lewy Body Ireland. Many of you will already know Kevin through his brilliant books, Lewy Body Dementia Survival and Me, and I'm Kevin, Not Lewy, available in all good bookshops. And on Amazon, I assume.
Yes.
Well, welcome, Kevin. Lilo is a mother, daughter, sister, aunt, friend, and passionate sailor.
Yes.
She lives next to the German Baltic Sea near Schwerin and Rostock, and was diagnosed in 2017 also with Lewy Body Dementia. But before that, you worked in the IT sector and had founded your own company, working as a managing director and strategic manager. She's a member of the European Working Group of People with Dementia, an active volunteer with Alzheimer Society Berlin, and a member of the advisory board for the German Alzheimer Society.
That's it.
Thank you very much for both joining us. Have you ever, I'm going to go back into my script, but have you ever both talked about your symptoms of Lewy Body Dementia? Have you found commonalities between?
Yes, sometimes.
Yes,
sometimes.
Well,
if Lilo talks,
Yeah.
I just say yes.
Yeah.
If she talks, I just say yes.
Yeah.
The symptoms are so alike.
Yeah.
They are
It's
just
amazing,
so,
isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Even more so than with Alzheimer's, where
Big
people
time.
get in Lewy body.
It's
They are.
different. It's different. Yes, we have hallucinations.
Yeah.
Like I see something a dog, some flies. And in the night, I have some visions, and that is very strange. When you wake up in the night and you have such hallucinations and such thing in your life, I always say I see things you never see.
And I think particularly
maybe you too,
in Strange Hotel, because at home you could have made some adaptations, couldn't you? Like to remove the things that we know stimulate hallucinations, like patterns and different, swirls on curtains and things like that. But when you're in a strange hotel, there's less.
It's not different. It's mostly it's always the same hallucination. I have. I don't know.
I would be the exact same. And the one big familiarity for me from home is the fact that I have sleep apnea. So I have a sleep apnea machine, and that's on. So when I wake, that is on, and that has often helped bring me out of a nightmare. But my iPhone is also up next to it, and I just have to press it, and I have the same program that I watch time and time and time again. There's 6 people in it, and it's like my 6 friends are there.
You kind of relax.
So it's a familiarity immediately.
Fascinating.
Even the surroundings might be different, but the sleep apnea means, I recognize the machine eventually. I recognize my 6 friends.
You learn those tactics to help you.
It's little things that make a massive difference to me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad
you need a lot of tactics and
little tricks. Exactly.
To manage these hallucinations and to deal with them. When you say, I don't want to have these hallucinations, it don't work.
No, it doesn't.
Better you say, okay, they are here, I had to deal with them, and then it's fine.
So even more reason why it's so incredible that you still managed to travel and come all the way to Helsinki. I've been doing a fun facts on all these shows. I don't know if you know. Fun fact about Helsinki. It's spread over 330 islands and hosts a very small statue called Uru, which means hero in Finnish. And part of the fun thing about coming to Helsinki apparently is you've got to go find this statue. It's a tiny statue called Hero. I don't know where it is. We might have to Google
I don't know.
I
don't know this thing. It was first time I heard it. And you?
I saw a statue last night, but maybe it was a hallucination.
It's really tiny, apparently. So is this both your first time to coming to Helsinki?
Yes. For me, it's the first time to stay in Helsinki, but I stayed 2 times in Tallinn as a sailor. And it was a very amazing thing to come with my boat to Tallinn.
Wow.
That was great. It was years before, maybe 10 years. But it was really amazing.
And there's some good wind. I imagine the sailing here on the Baltic is pretty.
Yes, the Baltic Sea, the Eastern Sea is so good for sailing.
Just don't get blown too far in one direction,
That's
otherwise
it.
you never know where you're going to end up here. So before we start, we should introduce Alzheimer Europe. If you've already watched some of these films, you'll know already, but we'll do this again. This enlightened organisation acts as an umbrella bringing together and representing 41 different national Alzheimer Europe organisations from across Europe, representing 37 different countries. Their mission is to make dementia a European priority, change perceptions, policy and practice in order to improve the lives of people with dementia. And this is the 33rd time this conference has been held.
It's amazing.
Which was being mentioned at the start, with some people actually came to those first ones. So I'm going to start by asking you both the question of how you got involved with Alzheimer Europe. Kevin, why don't you go first?
Well, every couple of years, the Alzheimer Society of Ireland nominates someone for the role in Alzheimer Europe. And when I came up, I jumped at it. And I came straight in, and lucky enough, the same year, I think it's about 4 years ago now, I became vice chair. And oh my God, it's been an amazing journey. Like, you have your own organisation at home, and you do so much and you learn so much. But then, when you come to Alzheimer Europe and you become part of a working group, the depth and the breadth of knowledge that's there, and what you learn from other countries is unbelievable. And it takes a little bit of time, because you come with your own set of ideas from your own country, and then you have to sit back and say, I need to respect and I need to recognise what the other countries are bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And in my time with Alzheimer Europe, within a very short time of a new group forming, we genuinely become a family. We really, really do. We always don't agree with everything everyone says, but we have such respect for one another. And the team with Alzheimer Europe, there's no hierarchy here. We're all the same. We get wonderful help, wonderful support. And I just love being part of it.
And bringing those perspectives from different countries is so important. What about you, Lilo?
I totally agree what Kevin says, and my journey was a little bit different. When I was diagnosed in 2017 in Germany, I was totally lost in space, because in Germany there is no single point of contact for people that get a diagnosis with dementia. And also I don't know how many forms of dementia it gives. And the another problem was that the helping system, the medicine system in Germany is not really helpful for people with dementia. So I was 2 years lost in space, had big depressions and struggled with the world. Because before I was a manager, I was a person, I was everything. And after my diagnosis, I was feeling I was nothing. And then I started my connection with Alzheimer Germany. And that was the first part in my life, getting better in my journey with dementia. And the Alzheimer Germany took me to the team living with dementia. And we are 6 people, and we all have diagnosis with dementia. and we worked together 2 years, and it was so amazing. I grew up, I learned so many things and so many perspectives of people with dementia, and I go in the world of dementia. And then I was nominated to the European Working Group People with Dementia, and at that point it was like a shooting, and I can do something, I can give something, I can help people with dementia, and I can be a little bit like a network node between German perspectives and the perspectives and the things in Europe. And that is a big thing for me. Formerly in the area of government, and in the area of economics, and in the area of digitalization. That's my point. I work in these areas for also Alzheimer's Germany. In all countries, we have a lot of countries all over our land, and that is amazing, yes.
And I think coming to a conference like that, for both of you from your backgrounds, coming to a conference like this, I don't know if you're also managing to go and watch sessions that you're not necessarily involved in, is you kind of come away with all these, there's so much great research going on, so many interventions that are proving to work, that it must be kind of quite empowering, that gives you information then to go back and go, wait a second, I've seen, when you hear something that's going on, you can go back and say, well, I saw a talk by this person, they're doing that there, they're doing this.
That's it.
So
yes. And when I see this program, it was like, oh, I want to go everywhere.
That's it, yeah, you want to go to every one of them, yeah.
That was a really great...
and then suddenly go, well, wait a second, I don't want to go to this conference. Like when you suddenly look at the diary then and go, there's a conference nearly every week somewhere in the world that talks about this. And I would imagine you both must be invited to many of those, given your experiences. So you've both given talks. Tell us about your experience as speakers. I mean, Kevin, with your books, and I'm sure there's book tours, this must be bread and butter for you now. This is giving a talk. But is this different? How is this different? And what did you talk about?
Yeah, this as I thought.
It's a different audience.
This, as I thought, was bread and butter. I've spoken at so many conferences, not just with Alzheimer Europe, but yesterday was the biggest stage of all times. And the reception, the response from it, from the past couple of days, people coming up and congratulating all of us on our different talks, was simply amazing. But I think the very fact that Alzheimer Europe put us on first, day one, just really highlights how valuable we are to them, and the respect that they have for us. For me yesterday, it was a proud moment. Don't get me wrong, one of the proudest moments of my life, to stand up yesterday to be the first keynote speaker and stand in front of 1,000 people and talk about public involvement, something that I have such a passion for over the last 5-6 years as an advocate. And to get that chance yesterday is something that will live with me forever and ever.
Big room, isn't it? There's a lot of people.
It was
such a warm audience.
Unbelievable. And during my speech, I forget actually what I said. Maybe I said we must be front and central, or our voices must be heard, or whatever. And I got a round of applause in the middle of my speech, and I just thought, this is magnificent. There's 1,000 people honing in on what I'm saying right now, and that was just here. And the difference even this year compared to last year and the conference we had pre-COVID is growing. The audiences are more engaging, the researchers are more engaging, and I'm not saying we were ever undervalued, but they're seeing the value of us more and more and more. And I think we're after stealing the stage from now on. I think we will be number one from now on.
I think the growing audience kind of just goes to show how much the shift that's happening in recognizing the importance of of those kind of care research and the policy and the interventions that have been discussed here, because it was the big conferences in the past have always been the biologic, the biology was the basic science conferences have the big numbers, but to have 1,000 people here that are interested in that shows
amazing.
how this is coming up the agenda. So what about you, Lilo? What was your experience as a speaker?
Oh, first, it was experience to be a part of the team with Kevin and all the persons in our team, and they rocked the stage yesterday. It was so amazing. It was heartbreaking for me because I know the stories of all these people. They speaking on the stage, and yes, it was amazing for me. It was really a great thing. And I was last year in a conference in Germany, in Mülheim, and we stay first time as our team in Germany on the stage, all persons, and we all have a speech, and it was the same thing for me to feel this. There were 600 people, and it's amazing. And as a speaker in the area of national dementia strategy, it was a little bit different because the German government was not really happy that I had a speech here on the stage about the work of the national dementia strategy. And before I do my presentation, I have many talks to the ministers, and what I have to say and how I have to say and something else, and people.
Are you a risk? Are you
a little bit? Yes. It was not. It was a little bit like being on an ice, and so I was a little bit afraid that maybe I say a wrong thing. But after my speech, one of the team assistants of the minister comes to me and say, "Oh, it was really good, really good. But you gave us something to think about." And there were other people from other countries that say, "Oh yes, that's good. You gave us so many inspiration about national dementia strategy." And in my thought, a national dementia strategy is the document. It is the one thing we can all look on it and we can go on it. And for me, the second point of the National Dementia Strategy is that if you have a strategy, you can make a financial plan. Yeah. And when you know, Adam, that 2022, from 10 countries in Europe, they have a strategy, but only 2 have a financial plan. And if you have no budget, you can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is a really important thing to know. And yes, that was the reason why I put the thing.
Since my time as an advocate, and I suppose I'm at it 6 years now, I have noticed a paradigm shift in the way people with dementia are being treated. And I call them light bulb moments. And I think in Ireland it happened when I addressed the Parliament. And you can have all the doctors, you can have all the specialists, and they're all sitting there talking to the parliamentarians, and they're listening and they're going, yeah. But when the voice of the lived experience is talking to them directly, and you look at a politician in the eye, you look at a room full of them and say, just remember, in Ireland alone, when you guys wake up tomorrow morning, there's going to be 30 more Kevin Quaids. Yeah. And they also know the value of the lived experience here in with Alzheimer's Europe, obviously, when we were front and centre yesterday. And it just makes sense. It makes common sense because we have it. We know what it's like. I always say, I have the disease. Yeah. My wife lives with the disease. And if you want to know what it's like to live with, ask my wife. Yeah. But if you want to know what it's like to have, ask me.
Well, and I love that you can both challenge the system, that whilst being within the system, you've both gone to work for the charities in your own countries and then coming to Alzheimer Europe, where clearly they've got an agenda, they've got things that they want to achieve.
But we also stressed the systems.
Yeah,
That
but that's
is
what I mean. That
the
you're still
other thing
that you
inside.
still have this amazing position where you can still influence and bring things back to reality and kind of use that opportunity to push on the important points from within to make sure that those agendas because I think it would be easy to just kind of go away and go, yes, that's good. But I love that you're both so passionate
nice and something else.
Exactly.
And in the
That's
work
not
with
our work. Huh?
in the work with Alzheimer's Europe, I often think
Yeah.
that some of the companies that they are bringing to work with us, I think they'll go away blown away
Yeah.
by the amount of knowledge that we have.
It's brilliant that you kind of get this free thinking ability, that you both have these free thinking process that you can come and challenge the systems and deliver, and at the same time that's what they're asking you to do, isn't it? Do you know what, I had a long list of questions, but in the process we've gone through here, you've actually both answered my question without needing to answer. I'm going to give you a last I'm just going to ask you one last thing, and we'll have to keep this short. Is out of everything you've seen, is there something you think is either not as high profile as you like, or not as discussed that you'd like to see raised more particularly in research maybe? Is there a topic that doesn't get as much attention as you'd like to see?
Yes. For me, it's all about technology. All about digitalization. I was in the session, the potential of artificial intelligence for dementia risk predictions. And it was amazing. It was really amazing. That's the future. And I think when I look at the researchers today, they often speak to older people. Not every people in the age over, I think, 65, 17, is really a people that deal with digital medias and something else. And so we didn't have a process that digital things in researching are very, I don't know how to say, there are so many experience and so many things and so many apps, and I myself, I'm writing all my articles with ChatGPT, but because I can do word by word, I know what I want to say, but it's not easy for me to say it in the right way. And ChatGPT is for me the tool I can deal with and I can work with, and I can, I can do anything.
I can already see a future Alzheimer's Europe report, like a document that lists out readily available technology tools and how to use them that can help people now.
Yes.
ChatGPT.
It would be great.
Other brands. What about you, Kevin?
I'm on my third book, and I'm addressing it in that book. And there's a very, very basic thing that's missing. And it's for people who go into care homes. They know your name, they know your medication, they know your address, they probably know your partner. But they don't know you, because they haven't asked you had you a pet? What was your favourite song? What did you work at? What were your hobbies? What do you like? What time do you like breakfast? It's the very, very, very basics.
Those conversations.
Those conversations need to be. So if you have like a cheat sheet, and when you go to the bed for the first time and Kevin Quaid is lying in the bed, and as a person with Lewy Body Dementia, I am terrified.
Yes.
And you'll come up and you'll say to me, I believe you like such and such a singer. What's your favourite song? You've a bond made immediately.
Some of the talks at the conference are on conversation analysis, which I love as a tool. And speech and language therapists and conversation analysis have produced some great tools, which I think maybe we can put a link with the show notes to go with that aren't necessarily available, that have got some real guides on how to do that, but also then to be able to identify cues in conversation to allow, so even when language starts to become a barrier, that you can still continue to communicate and understand other ways to do that.
You see, it's about building trust.
Conversation analysis is like magic.
If you come to me, and I'm just looking at you as a doctor at the end of the bed, but next thing you'll talk to me about my favourite sport, writing, poetry, music, whatever it is. If you can form that bond with me, it will make me as a person with dementia who has a lot of fear in their life.
Yeah.
It will make me trust you. And it happened to me with a doctor one time when he wanted to remove a pain patch that I was on. And I said no. I was lying on a hospital bed, I was pretty ill. And he said, how do you mean no? Like, how dare I speak to him that way?
Yes.
And I said, no, my GP told me it's up to 30 milligrams. It went down in increments of 5, it's to come off in increments of 5. And I said, before you go any further, if you go down the corridor to your office and walk back up and say that you rang my doctor, I won't believe you, because I said, I don't trust you. And you know what he said to me? He said, may I call you Kevin? I said, you can. You're 100% right. He said, can we reduce it from 30 to 25? I said, definitely, and now I trust you. It was a simple thing.
I think
It's a lot of trust.
more research on how to make those connect, and training to help make those connections. Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today, and I think that's a good point to finish this. I would like to thank the unbeatable Kevin Quaid and the phenomenal Lieselotte Klotz. I'm Adam Smith, and it's been a true pleasure to bring you behind the scenes insights from the 2023 Alzheimer Europe conference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.